Cacophony.
Drake has finally ruined his career as a rapper and done the most bitch move you can do after losing a rap beef so bad, which is sue your record label for defamation of character because you lost and you can't take an L. Drake is suing UMG on 3 different accounts. One is defamation of character, one is harassment, and the last one is also alleging that they used bots at Payola to illegally boost the numbers of Not Like Us to further harm his public image so that they can devaluate him as an artist during his contract renegotiation, which would allow them to sign him for less money this time around. I wanted to go over the lawsuit and just the current state of where Drake's at in 2025 because it's already off to a bad start. And personally, after reading the lawsuit, which is 81 pages, this shit looks like a fucking joke.
Embarrassing!
He has these lawyers that I'm pretty sure he's paying top dollar for, allowed him to go through with this, even after being met with massive backlash after he only did the petitions back in November. One of the first points that the lawsuit gravitates around is Drake's safety pretty much overall. They're using this point to say that due to Not Like Us coming out and it having push and it garnering so much attention and so many streams, that it has actually led to Drake having concerns about his safety for himself, his friends, and his family. They even went on to say that the shooting that occurred at Drake's house, as well as the 2 intruders that came to his house the following days, were a byproduct of the song, and even likened this situation to Pizzagate, saying that Drake's house has never had any intruders or any type of situation like this occur prior to the record, and that pretty much UMG intentionally turned Not Like Us into a viral hit so it can paint Drake in a negative light and associate him with being a PDF file, as well as call for violence against Drake. Personally, I think this is like a dumbass point to have because Drake literally on For All the Dogs had that line on the song with Lil Yachty where he says, "Bring those jokes up to the gang, let's get the really flocking." So you're already telling people to make these jokes about you when you even mention the Millie Bobby Brown line there. But Drake is also the guy that said to call him a PDF file on Taylor Made Freestyle. So if Kendrick brought it up in a song and it just happened to slap, that's your fault. You thought you were going to use like this as an Eminem 8 Mile moment till you realize this is a real fucking rap battle and this isn't a movie and you just seem stupid.
I just shot my foot. And it's real! Oh my God, this whole thing is real!
And it's really just like the age-old saying says, play stupid games, win stupid awards. It's also funny how people are clowning on Drake, saying that he pretty much called HR during a rap beef, but like he legitimately did because even in this first section of the lawsuit, they directly reference UMG's code of conduct and even point out the actual policy in there, just like someone who would call HR. Another interesting point about the lawsuit is Drake is still alleging that the song received illegal bots and payola to boost the numbers and the visibility of the song. So they even reference the guy that went on DJ Academic's stream and alleged that he received like $2,500 to do 30 million streams on Not Like Us for the opening day of it. And then he was also going to receive another $2,500. And then the craziest part was he was going to receive percentages from the total sales of Not Like Us, which, if you know anything about the music business, getting percents or points on a song is very, very hard. And sometimes writers or producers themselves who worked on it don't even receive that. So for a guy who is botting the song, that seems very unlikely. He also alleged that the money was sent on Zelle, which seems pretty stupid for a multi like $1 billion company, which is the largest music entity in the world, to, hey, let's Zelle this guy to boost these numbers, which leaves like this very much clear electric paper trail of where the money came from.
Right, so you got 2,500 up front, and then you were expecting another 2,500, I'm guessing, and then
Yeah, I was expecting another 2,500, which I never received, and then after that was a percentage.
Stop the cap.
Ak was on stream with the guy. He even questioned him because it doesn't sound very believable because Ak understands that getting those points on the song and percentages on a song is just so challenging in itself. So why would they give them to this guy?
Okay. Now, you're talking to somebody that's not industry dumb. Put it like this. My voice is on Push-Ups by Drake. I don't have percentage of that song. I would look like an idiot, and I'm pretty sure Drake would just block me if I said, give me percentage on the song. Now, you're a digital marketer.
This is like my full-time job.
Engineers don't even get percentage of the song.
The proof that the guy said he had was an invoice coming from a company that was in Anthony's name, Anthony being Kendrick's manager. And they did research on the company in itself and saw that it was actually a fake company. So the invoice itself was fake. So all of this was already debunked. And it just goes to show how little research Drake's team is actually doing into these allegations before making them, and especially bringing them to a federal court like this. In the next part of the lawsuit, they actually detail the lines and Not Like Us that call Drake actually a PDF file, or at least insinuate that. So they call out all of the main lines that people would know. The "I heard you like him young," "You better stay out of cell block one," the "Hide your little sister," the "Certified lover boy, certified pedophile" lines, the "A minor" line. They even call it the "Malibu's most wanted" line, which is funny because that's not actually what they're referencing. He's just calling Drake a fake gangster pretty much in that line. So that was kind of stupid. And I think it was just something that they threw in to try to strengthen the case that was already weak. But that line has nothing to do with anything else of what they're talking about, funny enough. On top of Drake not even living in Malibu, or even California at that. I think this part of the lawsuit, when they actually go over the lyrics of Not Like Us, will be pretty interesting because Kendrick never directly addresses Drake as a PDF file. And if you really look at the lyrics themselves, like even the "I hear you like I'm young," Drake is a nearly 40-year-old man, so he never described what young actually is. Young could be a 20-year-old girl, which is young compared to Drake's age. Or even, for example, the "little sister" line. Literally, Drake dated Lotto's little sister before, so that could also be a reference to that. Even the "certified PDF files" line, it's talking about plural, so even if he's addressing multiple people, that doesn't necessarily implement just Drake himself. It could be 13 people, like labeled on the cover of the artwork, 13 people who are at his house. That doesn't necessarily make Drake one of them, but it could also just kind of, insinuate that as well too. Also continuing the claim that Not Like Us is also insinuating violence towards Drake with the "I think that Oklahoma BLS stop" line, the "fuck a caption," the "wop wop wop," the "fuck 'em up" line as well, which I don't think it necessarily insinuates like violence towards Drake, but I also think with the Oakland line in particular, I think it's just the show itself won't go well and you just want to come back to Oakland in particular. I don't think he's calling for, hey, the city of Oakland's trying to like end Drake's life or something. It could also just be calling for a similar situation at like what happened with Flog in 2019 where Drake got booed off stage.
For you tonight, if you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight. What's up? If you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight. Well, look, it's been love. I love y'all. I go by the name of Drake. Thank you for having me.
Another odd part of this claim in this particular section, they mention that the term "Not Like Us" also alludes to Drake's Jewish heritage, saying that Drake's not a colleague, he's a fucking colonizer, which is funny enough that Kendrick has actually already explained what "Not Like Us" means back in the interview that he did with SZA a couple months ago before GNX came out. He explained that "Not Like Us" is the energy of who he is, the type of man that he represents. He also went on to say that it's the man that has morals, values, and believes in something and stands on something, and that's someone that's not pandering. So by no means did Kendrick ever reference Drake's Jewish heritage there. So I think that's a super big reach in the case. And I think, again, it just demonstrates that this case has a lot of claims in it that just don't make sense, and they're just trying to grasp for straws at this point. They also call out UMG allegedly whitelisting Not Like Us so that YouTubers can react to it and then monetize it, which would also bring more YouTubers to want to react to it, streamers as well, so they can keep monetizing it and the song gets more visibility. They even call out Kai, which is odd to call out because Drake, when he debuted Family Matters, told Kai to stay on stream to review his song. He also called out like RDC World, No Life Shack, Cartier Family, and I think one other person as well too. It is really interesting too because all of them reacted to both Kendrick and Drake's songs. It wasn't like they all exclusively reacted to just Not Like Us or just Euphoria or just Kendrick's songs he released. They did reactions to Drake's songs as well, and that wasn't referenced at all in the lawsuit. Mark from RDC has actually already responded on stream to being named in the lawsuit. He mentions how when you have somebody who takes an L and just doesn't know how to just live with the L, and they keep compacting more L's on top of that, it makes it so much worse for them in the long run. Instead of just accepting it.
One thing I learned in my life is this, y'all. This is one thing I learned in my life, bro. The biggest L's come from not knowing how to take an L. That's how I honestly believe that shit. Like, some niggas just gotta take an L and move on. Everybody take L's. Everybody. Every single person on this earth takes L's. So we need to just learn how to take them.
That's what I'm saying.
And from what we've seen from Drake's actions throughout the entirety of the year, that's simply what he's done since losing the beef. He just doesn't want to let this go. One part about the YouTuber side of things that was really, really odd that I did see some people point out was all of the creators that he called out were only black creators, but even like Aiden Ross had a reaction to it, and there's a plethora of white creators who also made reaction videos to Not Like Us that weren't called out in this lawsuit. So that was just also another thing about this that was kind of weird, which doesn't really help Drake's case, which also kind of furthers the Not Like Us narrative around him. On pages 56 and 57, Drake details that on July 24th of 2024, he had his legal counsel send UMG a letter. In that letter, it mentioned how Drake has accrued significant harm, as well as denying all the allegations in the song. The letter also demanded UMG to preserve all records in case that there is litigation that happens. On July 31st, UMG actually responded with a letter back to Drake letting him know pretty much that it's really dumb if he does try to pursue these claims against UMG. And that was followed by another letter by Drake where he emphasizes the harm to him as well as his businesses. He also demands UMG retract pretty much Not Like Us and assume responsibility for promoting and marketing the song. Also on page 57, he does allege that UMG negotiated and paid for the Recording Academy to nominate Not Like Us for multiple Grammys for this year, as well as to play it at the Super Bowl. My overall thoughts about just the situation and Drake in itself is that, one, Drake is just really hypocritical with this lawsuit because on Family Matters and on the Heart Part 6, Drake both made like allegations against Kendrick beating his wife, his kids not being his own kids, and Dave Free having an affair with Whitney. On top of all the harm that this song is causing Drake to, and potential harm to his family as well, which it is notable, he did have a shooting at his house, but Drake is the one that also was putting money in the streets for information about Kendrick. Even Kendrick called that out on Whacked Out Murals, where he mentioned that if that money got into the hands of the wrong person, that could easily landed Kendrick in a bad position or someone close to Kendrick in a really bad position. And Drake wasn't really thinking that through. But now that he's suffering, a loss of money, even though he's still making high streaming numbers, he still is about to go on a sold out tour in Australia. He wants to make it seem like he's suffering so badly from this loss. But in actuality, Drake is making the suffering more worse than it really needs to be. The internet obviously magnifies opinions left and right, and you can see so many different people's opinions on you. Especially, it probably isn't the best seeing a lot of people dance to a song that sounds like they're calling you, a child abuser. But if you really just disconnect from all of this, come back with a classic album that people really want to hear, and it's totally removed from this rap beef, then you'll be fine. After Meek lost, he went, did some great freestyles, put out some great albums, moved away from the topic, and then he was fine after. But Drake's ego just doesn't allow him to do that. It just needs to be fed with, I'm the best, and validation constantly. And I think the only people that are really giving him that validation at this point, because everyone else kind of just took it as, Drake, you lost, now shut up. It's his delusional fan base that kind of just works as an echo chamber for him. And if I'm being honest, a lot of the things Drake said on Family Matters as well as the Heart Part 6 sound like either he was just in his subreddit or his comment section reading everything his fans were saying and then regurgitated all of that. And his fans are just so delusional, always thinking, even after the petition was withdrawn, they were like, well, UMG settled, now he's getting a bunch of money, even though in like the first sentence it mentioned that no party received any type of payment at all. So they just go off of any whacked out theory that they can think of. 2024, we really see Drake showing his true colors as a person and as his true intentions as an artist. Even on Do Not Disturb, from his mixtape More Life, he has the line that he says, I'll probably self-destruct if I ever lose, but I never do. From what we see, he was not lying to us at all. And we see him self-destructing in front of us and just totally unraveling. And like Kendrick said, he's spiraling day in and day out. And on one hand, it sucks to see, but on the other hand, it's like, Drake, you asked for all of this, and the decisions that you're making are really up to you, and you could make easily better decisions, but you choose not to from your ego. And that's, you're almost 40 years old and you should know better at this stage. And you've been in the entertainment industry for about 20 years now. So you definitely should know better. And you've done a fairly good job at doing it up to this point. But again, we've never seen you lose to this level. And due to never losing, you don't know how to accept the loss and just move past it. Personally, if I was Drake after losing the beef, I would have done a couple of different things instead of just amounting just L after L. First, I would have disappeared. I would have just went, might as well just go to Turks like you said. You're going to go on vacation, so just do that. Go lay low. I wouldn't mention any new music for at least the rest of the year. Come back, secretly just work on an album that's incredibly good, and then start promoting that in like 2025, which would be this year. While I wouldn't be focused on promoting it in the music, what Drake isn't doing is realizing that after this beef, he has his aura literally has taken a generational debt to it. Like, and the L's that he's taken after this have just amounted to like Drake should just learn from Cardi. Cardi literally has pissed his fans off so much that they have leaked his address, his kid's school, and a number of other things about his personal life. And he just comes back with more pictures. He just dropped a picture with a shit stained Vlone shirt, and people are excited for his album again. And that's all it took. You just do the simple things. Drake should be aura farming like he's Piccolo on Dragon Ball Z. Like Drake, this is the time, like you can't flex a Maybach at this stage. You gotta get like a Porsche GT1. You gotta get like a McLaren F1 long tail at this rate, pretty much. You gotta pop out with like the Project One AMG Mercedes or something crazy and just start flexing out the ass. So people at least they realize, you know what? He lost to Kendrick, but he got some money. And that's gonna at least help you to some extent, but like just keep doing bitch made moves and suing your label and just keep making like sneak disses and jabs and just bringing the beef up again and again. It's not helping you at all, and it's just making the aura debt that you have put yourself in just deeper and deeper and deeper. It's just like the US debt. It's something that's never going to get paid off at this stage if you keep doing this. And for Drake, where you've been that guy for 15 years, you lost this all just in 1 year, just being like stupid. Granted, I will say money can never unlame somebody, but at least if Drake's just going on an aura farm, just like campaign, that gets you some level of points back. Like you've had your house shot up, you've had your house flooded this year. You've had you had that balding thing go on for a little bit after you were on XQC stream. This leads give you a couple of points of like, you know what, he's winning in some aspect of life. Other than that, we can't really talk about the music so much until you come back with something new and something solo that can really move people. But at least I got something good for me at the moment. I like to say after this beef too, Drake's next album will probably be one of the most important albums he's ever released in his career. Now it will be a time where you really need to demonstrate either making a crazy hit or rapping like you've never rapped before, or what people have suggested for many, many years and kind of where you went wrong after like 2014 is go back to your old style that people loved. Stop being so hateful towards women. Go back to like the actual like lover boy Drake where you were just in a different bag when you were in like Nothing Was the Same or Take Care or So Far Gone, and go back to that and people will start loving the music again. You make another hit that's like best I ever had. Oh, you're back in the arms of the world again. But if you want to come back and try to like, you can't do this lawsuit now and get on a song and talk about spinning blocks.
To be hood, is that some sort of still some sort of status?
There's always going to be an appeal there, as far as listening to people rap about killings and drugs and all that stuff. I'm always like, when I'm writing a rap, I'm like, man, if I could just throw a gun bar in here, this thing would be done. Sometimes it's just such an easy scapegoat. Like, right. I can't rap about that because I'm not going to step out of my character just to finish a record.
I don't want to hear you on a song with 21 Savage talking about doing anything to anybody, because now you're just like the certified lawyer boy, and like no one's going to take that serious outside of your fan base. No other rapper who's rapping tough like this is taking people to court over rap lyrics, which funny enough, Drake also signed a petition for rap lyrics to not be used in court, which is insane in itself and just shows how much of a hypocrite he has been during this case. These are just my thoughts on the whole thing and how Drake has been moving since 2024 and everything past that. Let me know how you feel in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe, leave a like on the video. This is my first video, so I can't wait to do more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Ka-Kafanee.